comprises of TV, radio, digital media, so it definitely does relate to my current career.
So you were planning, when you were studying, you did plan on continuing your career in this industry?
Actually, what happened was it was all a major coincidence. I think it was pretty much rezeki lah. I didn't actually plan to work after I finished studying. I planned to continue my studies. I wanted to take my masters. I had everything planned out. I already applied to certain universities. I was specifically trying out some universities in the United Kingdom, and I had got accepted to a few of them. But then I saw like a Facebook status of my friend who was actually interning in TV3. She was interning in the HR department, and then they were opening up this new program. It's called the Journalism Editorial Training Scheme, or JETS. So I just macam saya jejela kan, I wanted to try it out. So I sent in my resume, and then a few weeks later I got a call asking me to come in for an interview. I went to the interview. I didn't really plan what. I wasn't even prepared for it. They asked me to do some mock-up interview with the camera and everything. And then a month later, I was actually waiting for my scholarship for my studies in the UK. But then I got a call from TV3 saying that I got accepted into the program. So after I consulted with my parents, they were like, you can always continue your studies at a later time, and this is just probably a good experience to have before you do other things. So I decided to go ahead, and yeah, it was just random coincidence, I guess. Rezeki. It was just rezeki, yeah.
So technically that was your first job, was it?
Yeah, it was my first job. This is my first job. I've never tried anything else. I've been here for about nearly 4 years now. Yeah.
So you started out as a journalist editor?
Yeah, I started out as a journalist for the Malay desk, which comprises you do stories for Bulletin Utama, Bulletin Pagi, Bulletin, just Malay general. But then I didn't really enjoy it because you gotta understand, you guys studying communication, journalism is a whole different world. It's a different world. You don't get time to yourself really, because news is 24/7. So you never know what's gonna happen. Sometimes ada bom meletup pukul 3 pagi, and then the boss calls you like, kau pergi sana sekarang kan. Macam you have to be prepared, and it was just not for me. I didn't really enjoy it. It was really tiring. It was really some people love it, but it wasn't for me. So I requested my boss. I said that I wanted to go into production, more specifically English production, because I was more comfortable in English, because I grew up in another country, and Malay it wasn't really my strong point. Yeah, exactly. So they were, alhamdulillah, they were very much accommodating. So they transferred me to the nightline department. This was after 2 months at work. Yeah, 2 months at work, and I got transferred to the nightline department. And I was initially an assistant producer. I'm still an assistant producer, but then they decided that I should also become a news presenter. So I went through the process. It's a training process. It's a long process, but yeah. So now I'm there.
All the skills and experience that you needed to get to where you are now, you got it from your first job, the editorial journalism, and the training.
I think the journalist part is just me understanding the process of getting news. You go to the assignment, you go interview people, and you come back and you have to rush for the deadline. Sometimes my assignment finishes at 7 and the news is at 8, so I have to rush. So it's I got to understand the process of it, but in production it's a different it's a different world altogether. It does correlate with the journalism aspect, but it's more about making sure that the flow of the program runs through smoothly. There's lots of things in production, like when a journalist comes back, they write their story, and then there's an editor who subs the story, who fixes the story and makes sure it's okay, and then it goes to the visual editor. And sometimes we have slides in the story, so it goes to the graphic department. So there's lots of different aspects in the production field, which I actually really do enjoy. I like being in the background more than being in the forefront, even though I'm a news presenter, but it's different. The rush of it it's pretty different, yeah.
Your job as a producer and a news presenter is very much different, right? Kind of different because...
Well, being a news presenter, you don't really have to do much except read the news. Well, it does take a lot more than that, because you can't just read the news. You have to present it in a way. It's not reading, it's presenting. It's not like you just read macam, no, it's going to be boring. People won't understand what the hell you're talking. I'm sorry, what you're talking about. So it's like you have to understand the story and stuff. But when I am producing or assisting the production, I don't read the news, because it's a lot of work actually, production. So I can't read the news at the same time. It's only when I'm reading, I don't do production stuff. So it's a bit different.
When you were journalist, you said you wrote for Bulletin Pagi for the news. Is it for the news only, or like Malaysia Hari Ini?
Oh no, it's in Media Prima. We have lots of different stations and lots of different departments. Like we've got TV3, MP7, ATV, TV9, and in TV3 itself, we've got like Crime Works, we've got like different departments, and all like Malaysia Hari Ini, Wanita Hari Ini, it's a different department. News and current affairs is a different department. So I belong to the news and current affairs department. So yeah.
What is the most challenging aspect of your job?
The time. Because hours is from 4 p.m. until 1. So 1 a.m. Yeah. So it's very challenging, because you're not normal. You're like yeah, exactly. So that is the hardest part, and I think like basically not having because I don't go off on weekends or public holidays. Like even today I'm working, so like my timing with other people, like my family members, is quite different. But fortunately my husband is also in the same field. He works in the same office, so it's easier. I think that's why like most of the people in this industry marry with people in the same industry, because it's easier for them to understand. Like if I was to be with someone else who works in a normal job, I think they wouldn't understand the fact that I would come home late and stuff like that. So it's hard, but it's enjoyable. Like we got married like a year ago, and we still can't really think about having children because of the timing. Because if I was to have kids in the future, like, I don't know if I'm gonna continue on with this job forever.
But for now, you are enjoying it.
For now, I really do love my job. For me, it's the best job ever, because I get to wake up late and stay up late. But you can't do that forever, right? At some point, you gotta
settle down,
grow up.
So do you have any other job?
No. Other than just being assistant producer, I'm a news presenter, and that's it.
So you've never worked outside the industry? No.
Well, when I got into the JETS program, we sort of had training for 3 months, which comprises of training in the broadcast field and also the newspaper field. So I got a chance to work at the New Straits Times, the paper, for about a month, I think. It's different because the newspaper field is much more relaxed, I guess, than the broadcast field, because you're not on TV, and you don't have to like make sure your interview is on camera, because that's the most important thing. The camera work is very, very important. So I actually enjoyed like my journalism experience at the NST than at BDPK. Yeah, it's a lot more pressure here.
What is your most unforgettable experience with it?
Okay, let me just think about that. For the past 3 years, I've had the opportunity to become the first person on TV at the stroke of New Year, like the stroke of midnight. I was the first person to be on TV, so it was a total disaster because I was just like so nervous, and it was really loud. So I was like yelling, because you know how when it's really loud you tend to yell, and it was just really, really bad. But as time went on, I learned, how to improve myself and how to be relaxed in front of the camera and all that.
Do you work out in the field often?
Sometimes I do. Like next month we've got the Penimpunan Agung UMNO at PWDC, so I have to go there and stay there throughout the duration of the event and do my work there, interviews, all that. I usually do stuff outside, but not often. I'm usually they're promoting him to be a producer, so he'll be a producer soon. Yeah.
Did you guys change according to news or what?
Just the roster, like some, yeah. Just sometimes work this day, because we can't have all weekends off. We get 2 days off a week, so we can choose lah. Like sometimes I actually prefer to be off on weekdays because I don't know, I like working weekends, I guess, because it's more quiet and there's not a lot of people at the office. And taking my days off on the weekdays is more relaxed, because if I want to go out somewhere, it's not a lot of it's not very crowded, and parking is easier, and not a lot of people at shopping malls and stuff like that. So it's like I prefer it that way. My husband and I prefer it that way.
Can you explain a bit about your program, your Nightline?
Okay, so I'm not sure if you guys watched Nightline before, but it's a news program. It's in English. It airs at midnight every day. Our content is pretty much the same as Bulletin Utama or the other previous, but it's not like we select the content which caters more to our demographic, which is our specific demographic is more like intellectuals or people who are more apt in English, who are English speakers, maybe expats who want to know about the local news, but they don't watch. I mean, you can't watch CNN and stuff to know about the local stuff here in Malaysia. So that's pretty much our demographic. And I know that Bulletin Utama has a certain character to it. They play more political stuff and all that. Yeah, more of that. So do you want me to tell you how it, like the workings every day? Like, yeah, because I think most of, not just intellectuals, but I think people who does not watch Bulletin Utama, or maybe they've got something going on that day, on that night, or they missed it or something, so they just want to like catch up on what's going on, so they just turn on Nightline. Our demographic, our ratings is quite a lot. We are the #1 English news program in Malaysia. I don't think there's any other, well, there is in Bernama and NTV7, but their ratings have not caught up with us. We've been on air for about 26 years now, so the program has done very, very well, and the ratings have been steady throughout the years. So,
Do you think the role of the program is influence the society? Because people, some just only a few people
Well, I think it doesn't have a big enough as big of an impact as with Kamala. Of course, that's the prime time show. It's at 8 o'clock, which is also the prime hour for every news, for every channel. It doesn't matter if it's news or whatever. 8 o'clock is the prime hour. But I do think that it might not have as much of an influence on the whole of Malaysia, because you've got to keep in mind that not everyone can understand English, especially people in the rural areas. So of course, Nightline caters more to um, people in urban areas or the Chinese society, maybe the Indian community as well, maybe people in Sabah and Sarawak who understands English. It's not just about intellectuals, but also those kind of people who don't really watch the news in Malay, or maybe they don't understand Malay as well. Yeah, they prefer in English. I think it does have an influence on them specifically, not the whole of society, but maybe just those, part of the society.
When you say your content and chosen community.
Something happened, and maybe tomorrow you've got to do a follow-up piece of it, like what's the update of the story, like for example, like last time, recently, the murder of Kevin Marias. People want to know who did it. Was his body found? Where was it found? So you've got to keep in mind that you've got to follow up. If you aired the story yesterday, you need to have a follow-up today. Yeah. Like for example, story about an accident, you don't really need a follow-up because it happened. Yeah, it happened. So it's not if it's just like a murder or something, a crime that includes lengthy investigation process. So you need to include that in your stories. But just answering to your question just now, it depends on the producer what they want for their content, because it's also like a creativity thing. You decide what you want in the lineup. You choose from a pool of stories that Berita Utama has aired, or maybe they haven't aired it. You pick out lah. There's a lot of stories in one day. Maybe the producer of the day wants something light, like today's Deepavali. Maybe he or she wants something, a cheerful story on that, or it just depends on the But there are specific stories that you have to use. The rest of it just depends on the fillers. The fillers, exactly.
What advice do you have for students who want to do anything with it? Maybe to be like you, presenter or producer?
Well, I think that the first thing that you need to do is to really make sure that this is what you want. Because being in the media industry, especially in the journalism or news environment, is very difficult. You are surrounded by people whose lives are not normal. Meaning, I'm not saying like they're it's just that our working hours are different. Some journalists, they are 24/7. They're, if something happens, they have to. If the boss tells them to go there, they have to go there. Sometimes you have to travel overseas, so it's very challenging. You are constantly tired, and it's also very, very competitive. People fight. They're like sharks in there. They want to be the one who's writing the best story, who's got the exclusive stories, who's got the more contacts than the other journalists. So you've got to really understand what you're getting yourself into. Try it out, see if it works for you. If you end up enjoying it, then I would say go for it, because it is very, very fun. It's not a typical 9-to-5 job. It's not boring. It's not boring at all. Trust me, every day you've got to face different stuff. It's not just you sitting in front of a computer from 9 to 5. You go out, you meet people, you make new contacts, you go places, sometimes you get to go overseas, so it's very, very fun. Just make sure that this is what you really want to do. And in terms of being in this field, you have to also be very confident. You can't, as I said, these people are sharks. Your bosses, your colleagues, your not just in like one in Ketiga, but other media outlets. They are very, very competitive, and they don't. When they see somebody who's weak, they pounce on them. So you've got to be very, very sure of yourself. Be confident, and you have to be very outspoken, friendly. Because when you go to assignments or when you mingle around with these kind of people, you have to be able to connect with them. You have to be able to, the most important thing is you have to introduce yourself to them first. No matter where you go, if it's your first day on the job, you have to be able to go to this cameraman from Bernama, this cameraman from Almaini, this cameraman from Utusan. You have to be like, hello, hello, I'm. You have to do that. If you don't do that, they'll be like, who is this girl? Kenapa dia tak tegur aku? It's very cutthroat. If you don't tegur them first, they will not talk to you ever. They won't talk to you ever.
Did you learn this by experience?
Yes, I did. I learned this from experience. They are very. You just need to be very confident in yourself. Just be you and just be confident. Be the one who's talking to them first. Don't wait until they tegur you. You just have to kebalkan muka and just go and say hi and everything like that. And also confidence in the way you present as well. Like if you aspire to become a news presenter or a news anchor, you have to, like I said, you have to be very confident, because as tough it is to be a journalist or be in the media field, it's as tough as to be a news presenter. Like I've said, you've got competition, you've got other news presenters who maybe they've been there for a long time and they don't like new people to come in and take their spot or whatever. So you've got to be mindful of these things, but at the same time, be yourself. Learn how to adapt to these situations. Like if you are faced with somebody who is not as welcoming, try and warm up to them and make sure you, as they usually say, like my colleagues say, lebih. So you've got to be mindful of those things. And last thing is just enjoy it. This is not everyone can do this. So if you try it first, you enjoy it, then this is what you should be doing. Just be mindful of those little things, because everywhere you work, you'll be faced with politics, office politics. So it's just how you adapt to it. Just be confident. No, actually, a lot of my colleagues are not from communication background. My husband, he's a journalist and also he's a news presenter for NTV7. He studied civil engineering. So it's not really a requirement. It's an extra. I think that if you learn communication, you've got extra skills that they might not have. But it's more like if you want to become a journalist, it's more about your capability, your writing capabilities, and your thinking skills. It's just that. But if you want to work in production, I would say that it is best for you to take a specific course that caters to that, because it will help you a lot in knowing what angles, like certain camera or equipment stuff. So, but you can also learn on the job. It's not a problem at all. I don't think that it's necessary, but it would be an extra thing if you were in the I'm not saying that you guys should take it. It's just an extra. You don't really need.
Anyone can apply.
Anyone can apply. Yeah, exactly.
And if like someone from another culture
Um, well, it depends on what they want to do. If they want to become a journalist, if you've got a finance background or economic background, it'd be easy for you to write stories in business, for business stories. You know, if that's, I've got lots of friends who took up finance, economic, they end up becoming business writers. So it depends on what you want to do, what you are capable of doing, and what your niche is. Yeah. Yeah. But it takes time to find out what you're good at. So you just try everything.